to see all of us. Yes, I can see more people are joining in. They're very happy to see all of us. I hope everyone has their cup of tea, because today we are going to cheers on a cup of tea. I'm sure when you were invited for this event, you are told to grab your cup of tea. So we welcome you so much to this event. We were kind of giving people like 5 more minutes. That's why the room was opened, and allow me to just give 1 more minute. 1 minute is remaining to 7:05. Then we can start the event. It's not going to take you long at all. By 8, we shall be done, because you are told very clearly it's 7 to 8 p.m. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we wait for 1 more minute. Okay, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. We're going to now begin our day. Since we have got a good number, and I really take time to thank you for attending this celebration. The rest of the people can continue joining in as we move on. Okay, so that's it. So guys, perhaps many people had not heard about Chinese Language Day. I don't know whether you had heard of it. Could we begin even before I introduce the day, and even before I introduce everything about the day? Could we begin by at least somebody sharing, had you heard about this day? Had you heard about Chinese Language Day? Anybody who had heard about it before? Anyone who had heard about Chinese Language Day, especially those who have been learning Chinese for a very long time? Silence means probably we had not heard about it. So before we get to hear and to celebrate one another on this day, I thought it was good for us to have an idea, or at least for us to learn a little about the day. I think that would be good, so that at least we can all be on one boat on what we are learning. So yeah, that's it. So welcome again to Chinese Language Day, or our Chinese Language Day. Actually, in Chinese, we say 中文日. 中文日. So today we say 中文日快乐, Happy Chinese Day. And this has been prepared by Discovery Chinese Cultural Center. I'm here on behalf of Discovery Chinese Cultural Center, and my name is Faith Moria. And then we have partnered with Silk Orient Research Institute, and Wanjiko will be introducing herself in a few minutes. But for now, let's continue. So yeah, welcome guys to Chinese Language Day. 中文日快乐. 中文日快乐. For those who've done Chinese before, you know that 中文 means Chinese language, 日 means day, and 快乐 means happy. So now if you did know Chinese, if you're here because you want to learn the language later on, you now know 中文 is Chinese language, 日 is day, and 快乐. So we, at the end of this session, maybe we can cheers our cup of tea and say 中文日快乐. So yeah, so we begin. So let me just give us a brief introduction of how this day began for those who didn't know it even existed. So we all know that Chinese is now spoken by more than 1 billion people, and they do it and they speak it as their first language. So it's because of this that Chinese Language Day was created by UNESCO. And I believe, like all of us probably know UNESCO because it's part of the United Nations. It was first created in the year 2010. So we haven't celebrated this day for so long. It's not like Christmas and all these other holidays. And so the UN created this day to celebrate Chinese as one of its 6 official languages. And we know the other official languages like French, German, etc. So just a little history about, again, how or why the United Nations created this day. It's to celebrate Tanjie. Now, for those of us who've studied Chinese, or maybe you know or you don't know, but we know that Tanjie is the one who invented the Chinese characters about 5,000 years ago. And when I mean Chinese characters, for those who've not studied Chinese before, I mean what people say tumiti, those tumiti, the sticks. But we know they are not sticks. We know that that's the Chinese language handwriting. So in 1911, China adopted Mandarin or Mandarin, whatever you want to call it, as the national language. And then in 1946, UN established Chinese as an official language, but it didn't get to using it. Then it was in 1973 that the UN General Assembly adopted Chinese language. And then in 1974, they started using it as one of its working languages. If you have done interpretation at the United Nations, you will know there's what they call the working languages. For example, there'll be a meeting, and maybe in the meeting, there'll be a delegation of people who cannot understand English. So there'll be interpreters who will be interpreting from English to French, French to English, Chinese to English. That's what we call the working languages. So that's a little bit of the explanation. And then amazingly, in 2019, Chinese was ranked #1 in the world. Why? Because it's spoken by most people in the world. So that's a brief of why Chinese Language Day was formed. So let's see just a little before we now get to celebrations, see some of the activities that we can involve ourselves in this day. And like I did myself, I don't know whether you did those activities. One of them is that you can learn Chinese. You can learn Chinese. If you don't know Chinese language, then you can make it to a point that from this day now, the Chinese Language Day, I want to learn Chinese. Even some of the basics like saying thank you, 谢谢, or goodbye, 再见. So that's one of the activities. Another thing you could do, or you can do in such a day, is you can visit a Chinese restaurant. But, oh, you know, now we are in a lockdown, so this might not be so easy. It's easy said than done, but you can feel free to visit a Chinese restaurant. You can either go and do what we call da bao, to carry, you know, to take away. So you can take away some of the Chinese food, and Chinese food is really, really, really yummy. I can tell you that. Another thing that I told my students today is that you can learn to use chopsticks. I don't know if you're a Chinese language student, I bet you have chopsticks in the house. So personally, I try to engage everybody in my house once in a while in using the chopsticks. So this is an activity that you can do.
Chinese day.
Now,
Chinese day.
then please let's mute until it's your chance to talk. Another thing you could do is to watch a Chinese movie. So you can watch a Chinese movie, etc., etc. There are so many things we can do on this day. But now, guys, without further ado, we celebrate, and we are celebrating this day by celebrating one another. I'm sure you're wondering, how is this going to be? But how it's going to be is that we are going to have some of our own who are in this platform already, and they're going to be sharing some of their experiences, or what we call some of their Chinese stories. People have got different stories in regards to Chinese language. We're gonna listen to them as they share. But before they start sharing, I would like to welcome Wanjiko Mbogwa. I'd like to welcome Wanjiko Mbogwa to give us a second brief. Welcome, Shiko.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Wanshang Hao.
Wanshang Hao.
Well, Faith just gonna put me in the spot like that and say, give a brief.
Yes, I had already introduced you as part of Silk Orient Research Institute. Yeah, so it was, and I told guys that Silk Orient and Discovery Chinese have partnered to prepare Chinese Language Day celebration. So you're just gonna say hi to people. Yeah, you always do it well. Welcome.
All right. Paul, your mic is making noise. Someone to mute Paul. Now we meet again. Last time we saw each other was during the spelling bee, and now we are meeting again for another auspicious day for Chinese Day celebration. Now, for Chinese Day celebration, just like Faith Lao, she has said, it's a day that began in 2010. It has not been there for many years. And I wish we were, you know, in the old days before this pandemic time, that we were celebrating physically. Would have actually seen the importance of how they celebrate it and everything about the celebration. But nevertheless, we decided, let us just come congregate here and encourage one another, give a few comments, a few you know, encouraging words to one another, so that as you commemorate this day, we remember each other and help each other matters learning of Chinese language. So without further ado, I think I would want to hear from the students what level of curiosity they have matters celebrating the Chinese Day. Have any of you ever heard of this day before today? Anyone to raise their hand if you've ever heard?
On the chat, Augusta said he has never heard of it. On the chat, he's never heard of it.
Okay, I'm seeing, is it Bakari? Somebody whose hands was up.
Yeah, it's me.
Bakari.
Yeah, I had it last year, but it was never celebrated.
Oh, again, the same reason, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, but have you ever been to any celebrations before, other than you said last year, so you've never been to any?
Yeah.
Okay, any other person who's ever heard of these celebrations? Hand up. Then I think that brief Faith Lashu was very nice because it gives people a picture of what this day is like. And because it's a UN function, that's why it's never magnified. You know, the Chinese, whenever they have their own function, they make noise about their functions, like make so much noise. It being a UN kind of function, it's just done the UN standards way. And that's why it's not made that major, because it's actually a UN function. Remember, UN has other languages, has Russian, has English, has French, has what? So it has to keep in line, you know, remembering that there are many other languages. But if it was a Chinese function like Spring Festival, everyone would know. Everyone would have painted like city red and yellow or gold. Back to you, Faith.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wanjiko. We appreciate you. And indeed, like you've said, if it was really a holiday that has been cultivated from the Chinese themselves, it would have really been a big thing. But needless to say, now that it's still under the United Nations, we shall celebrate it. Now today, we've got a few students who are going, or let me not call them just students, but people who have interacted with the Chinese language. And we're going to give them a few minutes. We could not have been able to allow everybody to share their Chinese stories because of time, but it will be nice to hear one another, some of us, at least to appreciate them and to appreciate the journey. So we're going to begin with William. I had seen William Mwigwa. William Mwigwa, we appreciate you and we welcome you on board. Yes, it is nice if we are talking, you put on your video for us to see. But welcome, William. William, welcome. Unmute.
I don't know whether I'm clear. You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, somehow. I would like to start by thanking Faisal for giving me this opportunity to briefly narrate my experience in learning the language, and of course to outline my future aspirations regarding it, and of course to promote the language and encourage others. I did have an idea that this was a Chinese day, and thanks to Faisal that we communicated that, and I'm very happy to know that for scouting. I have a burning desire to continuously improve on that, and it has come to my realization that learning a language or learning Mandarin is a process rather than something that happens overnight. And I started learning the basics of the language at Discovery Chinese Cultural Center in 2017. And since then, I've made it a priority to learn language on a daily basis. I've been learning the language on my own, but also Phil Laoshi has been of great help to our faith and Bantu. Also, it has not been an easy task considering that I have to juggle working and also learning the language. I've already made it a habit, and making it a habit entails planning, actions, being persistent, having faith in myself, and of course, having a strong desire to improve on articulating myself. I would like to start by stating that it's not a walk in the park, but there has been some hiccups, and which have offered an opportunity to research more on effective ways of learning the language outside class. For example, I've been using spaced repetition, shadowing, and also goal listing, which has been very effective. Some may argue that the best way to acquire the language is maybe to live in a country where the language is spoken, but we all do not have the same opportunities out there. So we ought to create the same environment so that you can acquire the language. And I have employed this technique and they turn out to be very effective. My main objective of learning Mandarin, other than being examined, was to be able to articulate myself clearly and explore more about the Chinese culture. And I believe there are hidden treasures in every culture, which of course can enhance one's life. And of course, apart from what I've just mentioned, it has also helped me to gain a competitive edge in my career. And learning the language have created employment opportunities. But I would like to emphasize that other than that, there are other profound that you acquire when you learn the skill. For example, you become more confident in yourself, which also enhance your self-respect. And there are other mental benefits. And also you end up having more faith in yourself, and you become more organized. You know how to manage your time effectively. And it also forms an inspiration from within, and it sparks other positive things. I would like to conclude by saying that learning Mandarin has, of course, been a process, and I'm still trusting the process. Therefore, if at all there's anyone who is willing to learn the language, I think it's time for you. It's a time for you to sit down and maybe have a definite plan, and of course have a big why learn the language. And more doing so, I believe that you'll be able to learn the language, and also at the same time you'll be practicing the same principles used in attaining success. I think I'll stop here and say, 老师，谢谢你，我觉得我做完了，谢谢大家。
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, William. We really appreciate you. I'd like, before I invite the second person, I'd like that you have made it your habit to keep learning. So in case somebody didn't hear everything that William has said, he said that learning Mandarin Chinese is not a walk in the park. He has been researching for effective ways of learning. And he said something so wonderful, that people have this notion that you'll be good in Chinese when you go to China. But he said, even when you're not in a Chinese environment, you can create your own environment where you can grow and become very good in the language. He said that the language has given him a competitive edge in employment, gives him a lot of inspiration. I like that. And then he said he's in the process. Thank you so much, William. So now we are going, we are going to move to Whitney. Let me see, has Whitney joined yet? Okay, I can see.
No, let's truly begin. Let's truly Wario begin.
Okay.
Oh, Whitney's here.
Oh, she's here with the user's iPhone.
Okay, I'll be after Wario.
Okay.
Okay, so
Wario, you can go first.
So we go to Wario?
Yes.
Okay, Wario, you're much welcome. Chole Wario, I hope I've mentioned it, pronounced it correctly, but
Yeah,
Wario.
Pronounced it well.
Okay, welcome. Please share with us. We celebrate you.
Okay, thank you, Lausher. Good evening, everyone. As you've heard, my name is Chole, and I'll take you through my journey of studying Chinese. Honestly, I'll say initially I took Chinese for fun as a course because it was just offered in school either way. But what attracted me more to Chinese was the clothing, which was the handful. I really love the clothes, and also their food, because I'm a hospitality student. So I really enjoyed their food so much, to the point I will like go to Carrefour and buy the ingredients and cook these different types of food. As William said, I will say the journey is tough. It's not easy. It has to take effort and passion. Honestly, I'll tell my friends that if you do not have the passion and put effort into studying something, don't take it. Because I think initially when I started the journey, I felt like the written part was very difficult for me. The Hanzi was quite difficult, but with time I felt the flow went, and now I could write very well, and I'm so happy about it. I'm actually proud whenever I see my written work, and I'll be like, wow, it's me who has actually written this. And also many people will ask, okay, what do you do? How do you study? And I'll say basically what is good for me might not be good for somebody else. I might be good at reading and maybe using textbooks, but it won't work for everyone. I have used so many different kinds of ways, from podcasts to Chinese class 101 to making friends online on WeChat, I've joined Duolingo and a lot of websites to try and learn Chinese. But I think it's just about the amount of effort you put in and the time you put in. You cannot just maybe study one day and skip an entire week, because it's like something continuous that you need to do. If you do not do it continuous, maybe you haven't studied for 2 weeks, you forget about it. Basically, in fact, the written part, if you do not practice the written part, it goes kaput, everything goes lost. But I think it's just about putting effort. It's not easy, but it's fun when you start the journey. Plus the events that take place within the Chinese activities. I enjoyed the Lantern festivals, the New Year festivals, and also making friends with the Chinese people. It's interesting. And the minute you start learning the language and understanding a few or more things and you communicate with people, you feel at ease, you feel wonderful about it, that you can communicate. Also, just like William, it has given me a competitive edge for work. I have worked partly with the Chinese people, which is wonderful. And also I would say languages is something that I think everyone should pick and start on it, especially Chinese, as also businesses are coming up around Kenya. I think, yeah, they're very nice people. So I'm glad I took the language initially. It was for fun, but now I've taken it seriously. And I thank my Laoshi for pushing me this much and for giving me so much opportunity. If it was not for her, I think probably I would have given. Thank you, Madam Wanjiku, and thank you, Laoshi, for giving me this opportunity today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll let you.
Thank you, Maria. Sorry, I was about to cut you there. Sorry. But thank you so much for sharing. I like that you said you loved their food. You'd go to Carrefour to buy ingredients. Okay, but you've still reiterated what William has said, which is wonderful. But I also like that you appreciate your teachers who have made you reach this far. Thank you so much. Now let's have Hetal. Hetal, you're welcome to share with us. Let me see, is Hetal here? Okay, I think she's not yet here. It's okay, we can move on. Let's have Augustus. Augustus, you're welcome. Yes, I can see Augustus is here. You're welcome to share with us. We want to celebrate you like we've celebrated William and Wario.
大家好。
Augustus, 晚上好, we can hear you well.
晚上好，大家好。快乐。
Okay, Augustus, we can't hear you well.
So 好久不见。
Okay, Augustus.
Is my internet okay now? I think.
Okay, so
my internet was the problem.
Okay, it's Augustus, your internet is breaking. We can give it a little time. And then we can pick it up again because we cannot hear you completely clear. Okay, please let's have Jethro. I always call him Jethro Laoshi because he's also a Laoshi. Jethro, you're much welcome. Let's feel free to share in English because maybe some people are in a lower level, others in a, and others have not even begun their journey. Let's feel free to share in English. I know people will understand better. Welcome, Jethro. I like your hair. Welcome.
老师好，好久不见。Can you hear me?
Okay, Jethro. Yeah, at one point we heard you, then there was so much noise. Okay, continue.
Can you hear me now? I think it's I think I should put my device away or something. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can perfectly.
Okay, first, I'm so happy. It's been long. I still want to believe I'm part of Discovery Chinese. I'm so happy to be in this platform. My name is Jethro. My Chinese name is Li Jiesu. And I'm a teacher by profession, and I still consider myself a student of language and of life. So I'm really happy because I am in a family considering the Chinese language. We don't have so many students as well as teachers compared to other languages. Things like English and French, which are, they are more popular. But Chinese is still getting popular day by day. So anyway, to save time, I'll just say my story. Well, it's pretty much similar. I started Chinese way back, that's 2017. I was at Kenyatta University. I studied it as part-time for 6 months. Then I got more aggressive. I was in every single cultural activity in the school. I never missed. I sang, I recited poetry, I played table tennis. I was everywhere, I was just indulged. And then, well, I think with these things, you get to grow, you get to learn a thing or two. Then come 2018, I now joined Discovery Chinese. Well, I joined now as staff. I was teaching the beginners now, the very new students to learn Chinese, to learn the very basics, the pronunciation. That was from 2018 to 2019. And in that bracket, I got to really grow because it's not just teaching, but I really learned a lot. And then, I was responsible for the freshmen, the very fresh, those who they don't know anything. Within a few months, I was responsible for level 2 and level 3 and so on. So basically, I actually learned so much. That was from 2018 to 2019. Then after that, I went to China for 1 year. So I came back last year, November, and since then I've been with translation. I've been evading my profession, teaching. I still like it, but then I joined translation for matters experience, for matters, just to know, I feel translation is quite a fast-paced environment. There's pressure, but you get to grow. So after the translation, after some time, I have to go back to who I am. I was made a teacher. So what my friends say here is pretty much the same. I mean, you want to learn Chinese, not just Chinese, you want to learn any language, you have to have that constant, exposure. You have to create that world. You don't have to go to the country. You may not have the opportunity, but just have the exposure, watch the movies, listen to audios, listen to text, read materials, I have my desk right now, I have at least 3 books. I have materials, you need materials. And then something else I'd like to encourage people is you need to go beyond your level, don't get stuck. It's amazing that in 2017, HSK2 was very difficult for me. It was actually very difficult. I look back and I'm like, what? HSK2 was difficult? At that time it's difficult. So what's the antidote for that? You study for the next level. That's 3. And then you get to realize, oh, there's actually so much to do. There is level 4, there is level 5, there's level 6. Now there is even level 9. See? So the more you go to the next level, the more you place your mind that you are so competitive. And trust me, you just grow. You grow so much. And then something I'd like to encourage us is that especially for people like me, this age bracket, right, the 20s age bracket, I think it's an opportunity to, it's an opportunity to take this chance. This is the time when I feel I have time to grow and to know so much. This is a time to be multilingual. This is a time to be diverse culturally. And the only way is to learn a new language. Learning a new language is an added advantage as a human being in your career. You grow. You're not stuck, you grow. You have something that your friend doesn't have. You grow. Learn a new language. Be multilingual. This is the opportunity, And the world is changing. We have investors coming in Africa and all that kind of stuff. If you know that extra language, that foreign language, that Chinese, Japanese, French, whatever, you are way, way better and way placed than any other person. You have to be multilingual. But then I'd like to add something. Learn a new language, learn 2 or 3 if possible, but I'll insist, learn Chinese. Chinese is super amazing. The adventure is great. I cannot regret. I have grown. Besides being an English teacher, I'm a Chinese language teacher. You see, my career is so boosted. Other than being a teacher, I'm an interpreter. See, things like that. Chinese has so many doors of opportunity. And I know the journey is difficult. I know those sleepless nights when you prepare for the exams and stuff, but trust me guys, it's really worth it. So that's my encouragement, and we're in this together.
Thank you so much, Jethro Lao Shi, also the interpreter. We celebrate you. We say that today in this Chinese language day, we've come to celebrate people, and we are celebrating everybody, only that we got to have a few people speak. So just a few people remaining, about 3 or 4. Please be brief so that we can be able to keep our time. I now want to welcome Doreen Wairimo. Yes, Doreen Wairimo is here. Now, as Doreen begins, she began to learn Chinese while she was in Form 2. I think Form 2 or Form 3. Well, Doreen, please share with us your story. Happy to see you, Karen. Welcome. Okay, Doreen, are you around?
Hello.
Oh, okay, yes.
Hello. Okay, so my name is Doreen. I'm sorry about my video. There are no lights, so I'm not sure whether you guys will see me well.
It's okay.
Okay, so I began my journey after class 8. So after class 8, I started with level 1. The 3-month period before you join Form 1. It was exciting. It was actually trial and error, but I loved it. So I continued with the language from Form 1 to Form 2. I used to do it during the holidays. Yeah, so on April and August before the times changed, I used to come back to school and Loshi used to teach me. My experience was, I think Loshi is a kind teacher. She's loving and understanding, and I think she's easy to communicate with. She like puts herself on our level, and she gets us. From there, I did it. I stopped briefly for my KCSE. Then I continued after Form 4. Since then, it has been wonderful, and I'm happy for how far I've come. So far, I'm teaching with Discovery Chinese, and I'm so happy for the opportunity, and it has given me a chance to learn and to grow beyond what I know, because now I'm currently studying for quantity surveying, and now I actually love teaching. I'm not sure whether I'll continue with it. Anyway, I'm happy for the opportunity, and it has been a great experience learning Chinese. It broadens your mind and it gives you a higher advantage even when it comes to job opportunities and even interacting with people. It broadens your mind. You know, you don't just stick there. And I am so happy for the far I've come. And yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you. I didn't even know it was class 8, or maybe I had forgotten that you began learning Chinese after class 8, but thank you that you have continued. Like Jethro said, it needs persistence, and you have been persisting in the language. I like that both of you say that it's good to be multilingual because it broadens your mind. This is wonderful. So we're about to finish. I would like to give Whitney Ngige. Whitney was here. Whitney, yes, you're welcome.
Hi guys, sorry, I'm actually in the car going home, so you can't see me, but it's me for evidence. So I started doing Chinese, or rather studying Chinese in 2016. Well, earlier on I had started after college, but I joined USIU, and then they also were teaching Chinese, and I was like, then this is the language to move on with instead of picking on a new language, and this is not yet that good. Then luckily, or God blessing something, Wanjiko Laushi had also just joined the school by the time I was agreeing to actually continue with the language. So I just took up, continued, but then it became more interesting with her because it was more practical. We are one school, I'm one student who has cooked Chinese food while in school, eaten it. She made it so practical that during her classes, because you could find that either Tuesdays and Wednesdays is the only day you're doing Chinese. So those are the best days in school, because maybe on a Thursday you will sing a song, or you will cook, or you'll just do something out of the ordinary, and then again in relation to something that you're studying in class. So the bit about Chinese has with time become more interesting. Much thanks to Wanjiko Laoshu. I'll keep mentioning you. I feel like these days, because currently I am working in a Chinese farm. I am a personal assistant to my boss. And the little Chinese I know is what helped me rock everyone else in that company. Because there are people who have been there for 2 years, 3 years. And when the PA, the existing PA left the company, he thought and he was like, I understand you're still on probation, but that's a procedure for you to follow. But given the Chinese together with other skills, I'd like you to be my PA. And that has made me every day now struggle to improve in Chinese, which is what Wanjiku always wanted. So I feel that I'm also at a place where I'm learning every day, and then with the interaction of the Chinese people. And sometimes I sit down and think, I don't know if someone like Wanjiku realized how much she has done for me to speak for myself, because she's pushing me, do exams, do this, they will help you. This is the only way out. I could know you're good in Chinese, but until you do a HSK exam, that will help other Laoshus or other accreditors know that you're actually good in Chinese. The journey has been interesting. It's out of passion that I do Chinese. That's why it makes it much easier for me to read on my own, follow my teachers. You can tell that for things like math, English, and other languages, if you never followed your teacher, you definitely also did not do too well in those languages. So I keep thanking also my colleagues, because they would put you, you don't want anyone ahead of you, you don't want anyone scoring better marks than you in a language that most people, when they think about it, they see you. So today being a language day, sorry, I was trying to catch my driver. Okay, today being a language day, I feel so special and honored to have actually been one of those people who had to speak today. I felt my story should have and should impact those who are coming. We are also still on the journey, we're not yet there. And do it. It's happy when you, like where I am, no one else is speaking Chinese at a Kidogo. So the little that I know is the one that is balancing everyone in that company. So it's a bit crazy, because it's until you're there, then things are gonna be resolved. What are these Chinese people saying? Or it's until someone calls you, Whitney, get this phone, there's a Chinese guy, tell us what he's saying. You might not necessarily hear everything, but just one word, like one will just say, Dahoji, Geiwo. That's all you need to hear. It's a lighter they need. Then you'll give them. Then back at home, you need to write Dahoji somewhere and learn it. Right now, someone gave me a call saying that there was someone asking a question on if it's possible to sell second-hand phones in Kenya. I didn't hear anything apart from Shoji. Then kidogo I had Arsho. Then I wrote it down, Arsho. I realized it was second-hand phone. Oh, okay. Then I told him, Sai Kenya, Pukai. I'm done with that. I've communicated and everything is clear. So don't expect one day, all of a sudden, speak 100% Chinese. It comes on the way. There's nowhere my Laoshi would have taught me Dahoji. There's no concept would have come for us to learn that word. But because of exposure, you will get it. But then you'll not get that exposure before you push yourself too little, then the world will help you grasp everything else as you go. So if you've started, if you're on the journey like me, for those who are ahead of us, Jayo, especially now that HSK has been added, we wait to see if it's gonna go any lower. But Jayo, Daja, Jayo, it's fun outside here to speak a language that not many can do. Thank you, Laoshi, for this chance.
Thank you so much, Whitney. I like the expressions that you've shared, and that sometimes we may expect that we will know all the Chinese before we go to take up those hard-looking jobs or something. But so long as you can hear bits by bits, probably that's all that you need, and then the rest will fall in place as we continue. Thank you so much for sharing that and encouraging people. And I like your passion. Keep going. Jiayo, jiayo. Now let's hear from, let's first of all hear one song. Let's hear a song so that we take a little break. We'll only be remaining to celebrate 2 more people. I'm so glad that we are moving on. This Chinese Language Day was basically for celebrating people. And so it's nice that we continue. So just allow me for us to listen to a song, a very famous song and very old song, I must say, but very common in the Chinese language learning. Please allow me to share with us. Then we can get to listen to it as we take a breather, and hopefully as we all do what? As we all grab our cup of tea, because we are about to cheers and celebrate everybody as we gambe. Those people who've done Chinese, you know, gambe is to cheer. And we said we are coming to gambe a cup of tea. I have mine. I hope you have yours. So let's listen to a song that is famous. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So guys, let's welcome Karen Liang. Let's I believe now your network is okay. Please try, let's see. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I'm so sorry for joining the forum so late. We had a power blackout, so I've been locked out the whole time, and then I have a small baby, so it's been a little bit crazy. So my apologies, my deepest apologies. So maybe Faith, you can just catch me up, please.
Okay, Karen. Basically, like I told you, today we are celebrating Chinese Language Day, and we are here to celebrate people. So we could not have been able to celebrate each and every one of us, but had some people like you who are to share with us a little about their Chinese story. So you can just take 2 minutes and just tell us how the journey has been, and so on. Basically, that's what we've been doing.
All right, I see. All right, first of all, hi to everybody. I'm so glad to be here and to be joining this forum. And thank you to Faith for inviting me. Basically, for me, my journey with the Chinese language goes back to around 10 years ago. No, 11 years actually, not 10 years. Started learning Chinese back in 2010. That was shortly after high school. And I always say that for me, it wasn't really something that I had planned. It was just something that I saw in the newspapers and I decided to just go with it. But I have to mention that I had always aspired to learn other languages, although Chinese was not really in my radar. I was more into, the Spanish and the French and those common languages that most people study. So when the opportunity came, I decided to just go with it, and I haven't looked back since then. And initially I had the preconceived notion that studying Mandarin is very difficult. That's the opinion that everybody has. But when I got to class, I actually realized it's very interesting. And I have to admit that at that point, I wasn't even looking at it as being maybe a career path or something that would make me money, because I was only 19. So I wasn't really thinking about, getting into the career world and everything. But looking back over the past 10 years, the ability to speak Chinese has really benefited me, not just in my career, but also in interacting with people, even really on a church level, because I'm also a church leader. So even on being able to maybe share the gospel or share the word of God with my Chinese colleagues and my Chinese friends, it's really helped me in the professional world and also in the world of just personal relationships, interpersonal relationships. So yeah, basically in a nutshell, that has been my experience with the Chinese language.
Thank you, Karen. But why did you mention that you're married to a Chinese? I'm sure people would be curious about that. Please share 1 minute about that.
Well, my studying Chinese actually landed me a spouse. So yes, my husband is Chinese. We actually met way back in 2015. We were working at the same company. He was a manager and I was a translator. So I was dating the boss. But we have been together since 2015. We got married in 2018. And now we have a little girl, 4 months old. And it has been a wonderful experience, I'd say. And always a good chance for me to practice my Mandarin and also to learn Cantonese, because my husband is from Guangdong. So I am now learning Cantonese, which is not as easy as Mandarin. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Karen. We celebrate you. Thank you so much. For you, it's a journey now. The way I perceive Mandarin and the way it's been a journey of hard work and oh my God, I can't even imagine Cantonese, not now for me. I don't know when, if there'll be that time. I don't think so, but Jiayo, I'm so happy for you and thank you for sharing your experience. Please, let's hear from Augustus. Augustus, please take 2 minutes so that we can rush now. Please share. I believe your internet is now okay. Yes, Augustus.
Can you hear me properly now? I think my internet is okay.
Yes.
Okay, so my journey started quite a long time ago, but it was an on and off journey. But I believe I want to say that when I began my HSK level 3, that is when everything changed for me personally, because when I started learning Mandarin, mostly it was because of interest, because of an opportunity that I had just gotten to learn Mandarin for free. And it's something that I had never ever imagined that I would ever. I didn't even know that there were people in Kenya who study Chinese, and I took it as a hobby. But as at first I thought it was really interesting. Then now I started seeing the workload and I started seeing how difficult it is, and I even contemplated giving up. But I believe when I started learning level 3 and when I started becoming very serious with it, and I'm very glad that the teachers that I got as in Discovery Chinese Cultural Center, they really pushed me and really encouraged me. And from there, that is when I started now thinking about Chinese from a business point of view, entrepreneurial point of view, a career point of view, and interacting with every other person that is when I actually realized that there are people who take this language very seriously, and learning that people are in very deep journeys as far as Mandarin is concerned, and everyone has their own experiences. And to me, it really touched a place in my heart, and it pushed me and encouraged me to always work harder and listen more and do more. And I realized how little I was doing, and I decided to work harder. And interacting with Faith Laoshie and Kathini Laoshie, and asking them about how they got to the point where they were. And I think it really opened my eyes. And that is when everything now began to click, and I got very excited. And I think for now, I can say that I do not regret it at all. And I just did my exam this the exam that happened a few months ago, and my results were positive, I thank God. And so right now I'm trying to apply for the scholarships, and I really hope that I'm able to get a chance to go to China and visit, because I'm very interested in their culture and in deepening my understanding of the language. And I think I love this program because it has really inspired me, and to see like what other people are doing, the people who are ahead of me, and it's the people who, because I have never thought about teaching before in my life, but I started getting really interested in it. And I think that is something that I really want to do now. And even working for things like translation, because I don't know, it just became a part of me. And I would encourage other people to don't give up. I believe that if you have the passion for it, I know sometimes you feel as if you're too old, or maybe you feel as if you're not understanding, or maybe you feel as if you're too afraid because you're making mistakes, and you feel as if other people are so much better than you. But I would encourage you that that you can actually make it. When I think back, I could not imagine that one day I would be where I am, and I am excited to see where I will be in the future. And I hope that I will continue to interact with all of you. As you can see, that there's a big community right here in Kenya and in all these institutions. And look, like I didn't even know that I would ever meet somebody who has found a spouse in China. Yay! I think that's really, really cool. And I'm so happy to see all of you guys and all the things that you guys are doing, and you guys are such an inspiration to me. And I hope that I can also be an inspiration to the people who are also beginning, and we will continue cooperating. And I think it's a very, very exciting journey. I would encourage each and every one of you. Chinese is very interesting. And I like the fact that, yes, as we've seen today, that there are billion people out there more than a billion people out there who speak Mandarin. And it would be really cool to be part of that community. And especially sisi wenye tunaanza tu like in Kenya, because it's not as big as maybe in other places. I think it would be really cool to say that you're one of the pioneers in your country. And I think that is really, really cool and really interesting. And for everyone who anaendelea na like the points of career and everything, Jayoba, I'm very proud of you, and I'm really glad to be part of you guys. And I hope that we will continue to have such forums so that we can continue to open our minds even more and see what more we can do. And all the activities that we've had, I will encourage you, what everyone else has said, that yes, it is interesting, yet it is cool to be able to speak, but don't forget that there's work also to be done. Like, make sure you're listening a lot, you're reading a lot, you're doing your part, you're doing everything that the teachers are teaching you. I think that's very, very important. And even when you find yourself in a point where you have improved, now you feel as if, don't just be so overconfident until where like you're stuck in a rut. Always, I think one thing that I really admire about Faith is that she's always learning. And I think every time, the first time I saw her, this one, And it really encourages me that, because I know that hakuna siku utaimaliza kusoma. So like always try to improve yourself every time. And yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak. Yes, I think I'm going to malizia hapo.
Thank you so much. I think everyone can see the energy that is normally in Augustus. Thank you for making your time to come and encourage us, and that you're continuing. That is really, really important. Now I want to welcome Paul Obota. Paul Obota, we celebrate you. Yay! We want to hear from you, your journey.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are, Paul. Welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Paul Obota, and I'm a student at USIU Africa. And I really thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to say something about my journey on Mandarin. And first and foremost, I love and I like to appreciate my Laoshi Wanjiku. She's been really an inspiration to me since my journey began at USIU in 2018. Yes, 2018, around August there, when I chose to study Chinese as a language. And after doing it as a language, because it is a requirement to at least a language in USIU at a basic level, I decided that after the basic level, I'll be doing it now as a minor. And I'm a student of finance. So my parents were even like asking, why am I taking Chinese as a minor? Because they weren't really understanding the reason why I was taking Chinese as a minor. But thank God, it's out of passion, to be sincere. My journey has been beautiful throughout. And I really appreciate that my Laoshi has been really supportive. And like if it's a foreign language, it requires that support system. Because if you don't have it, then everything might seem difficult. Because if you get a Laoshi that doesn't understand and doesn't teach from a kindergarten level, imagine teaching a 26 or 23-year-old like a kindergarten student, it's very difficult. But for her, she's been really helpful, and I'm really thankful for her that I met her at USIU. And something that learning Chinese has really done into my journey while studying it is that I've learned their culture, and I've realized that Chinese people really appreciate their culture. And as a Kenyan, it has made me also appreciate my own traditions. I come from a Luo tribe, and most of us get kind of eroded by urban life and everything else. But learning Chinese has really gotten into me to the extent that I'm even so passionate to learn my own language and really be able to communicate with it in public. Because learning Chinese has really made me appreciate how the Chinese themselves appreciate their own language, and they want it to be recognized as also an international language so that people can be able to learn it. Another thing that learning Chinese has been able to make me appreciate is the cooking bit. And as Whitney said before, that learning Chinese in USI is very fun because our Laoshi kind of combines the practical bit of cooking and the class, the lecturing bit, the theory bit. And she's my witness. Actually, cooking wasn't my best part in learning, because I actually hated cooking before I started Chinese, because most of the cooking at home, they're being done by the people. So I really never appreciated cooking. But since I started learning Chinese, I've really appreciated their meals and their dishes. And to be sincere, it has really taught me a lot on how their dishes are being prepared, their recipes, and I've really appreciated most of their recipes. They're very interesting. Their meals are sweet. And Makio, at our home, each and every time anyone has a birthday or any celebration, I have to cook for them a Chinese dish. So basically, I can say that I've really improved in my cooking. She is my witness. She's there. She can be able to attest to that. So that's all about me. And I really thank you guys. And I think together we'll be able to make our mark in Kenya on the Chinese language, and make other people also appreciate how it's a wonderful language, a language that sticks to its traditions, a language that has a lot of respect for each human being, And through it, we'll be able to move together. And thank you all. Thank you once again for this opportunity.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Imagine because of Chinese language, you got to learn Chinese culture, and then the culture enabled you to appreciate your own Luo culture. And even now you can cook. How transformative. You never used to cook before, now you can cook, and in every event you want to cook for them Chinese food. This is wonderful. And this is for those who, you know, I kind of see on social media whenever we have a Chinese language post, and some people of course will be hateful and they'll say, first of all, learn your own language before you learn Chinese. But see, actually learning other people's culture enables us to appreciate our own culture and our own language. And we start taking something seriously that we never used to take of our own cultures. So guys, thank you. We celebrate you. We still had Hetal and Tony, but it looks like their internet gave them so much challenges because I don't see them here, but I'm really glad, unless Tony is here with another name or Hetal is here with another name. But if not, I just want to take this time to say, guys, we celebrate you on this Chinese Language Day. We celebrate those who have just begun their Chinese level. We celebrate those who are midway. We celebrate those who are ongoing, and all of us fall in this bracket. We are ongoing. You've heard even Karen is now learning Cantonese, the other part of Chinese language. So it's an ongoing process. None of us can ever say, because I'm a teacher, I've reached, because I don't know, I'm a translator or interpreter, I know all the Chinese. No. We are all ongoing. And how beautiful journeys. We've listened to the journeys of different people. And if all of us would have been given the opportunity to unmute and given time to speak about their journeys, oh my goodness, I think it would get us to 10 o'clock. But just for those who represented the many, I believe we are all encouraged. And at this particular point, I want to welcome Wanjiko. If you have any question, please put it in the chat box. We can get 1 minute to answer the question. But I want to welcome Wanjiko to wrap it for us with a vote of thanks. But as she does that, please grab your cup of tea, because we must ganbei. Guys, we must cheer on a cup of tea. Woyo woda chai. I have mine. So I hope everyone has, because we're gonna, hopefully we can all open our videos and ganbei our tea. So as she finishes for us, as she gives the vote of thanks, please, let's get our cup of teas, even if it's water, but let us ganbei. Let's ganbei. Please, Wanjiko, you're welcome. Wanjiko, you are muted. You're muted.
Sorry about that, technology. And it's late anyway. I'm saying, first to say thank you to God for, giving us this day. It's not every day that we wake up and we find ourselves here. And second of all is to say thank you for the students. It's not always when you call students and then they heed your call. It's not an everyday thing. Second, say thank you so much to all the Laoshis who are here, to all the students who are here, to all the interpreters, and any other career that's in between who are here. I would say thank you. Third, I would say thank you to Faith Laoshi. Faith Laoshi is actually a person who thinks very fast. She thought of this day very fast and decided, why don't we do something? And Faith Laoshi doesn't go without noticing that you also work very hard to ensure that we remain on the grid. And I would say thank you for always working tirelessly hard, day and night, always thinking about Chinese and everything. And I think it's just for you, there's a lot of passion in there. I would say continue like that. And any other person who has worked behind the scenes to make this day successful, I would say thank you to you. And I think we can go straight ahead to the cup of tea. If there's no student that has something brief to say, just one student who can say something small, very small. We are now in the vote of thanks sector.
Chris is here.
Christabel is laughing.
Yeah.
Christabel, say something.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Okay. Thank you for that chance. I'm sorry I'd forgotten to mute. I'm just thankful. Actually, I'm in the midway, continuing to learn Chinese. And the stories that those guys have shared have really helped me. They've motivated me, and I think I'll make it too.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think you can proceed to the cheers section, to the Ganbei section.
Okay.
Do we all have our cups? I'm yet to grab mine.
Wanjiko, among us, there are two young learners. There is Zawadi, he's 8 years old, and there is Emmanuel, he's 7 years old. I think we can celebrate them. Please celebrate them because they are among us and they are learning Chinese. At least I know because they are in a holiday program and they are learning Chinese. So please celebrate them.
Wow. At least I've met Emmanuel before. I've not met Zawadi. Do I know Zawadi?
Yes, Zawadi is here. I know he's in the family of John and Trufena. John and Trufena, because I can see Wonderful. John and Trufena, so I'm sure he's there.
Okay, Zawadi and Emmanuel, we celebrate you. Where are you? Can we see you, Zawadi? And I had seen Emmanuel. Emmanuel is there, Emmanuel Gacha.
Yes, he's here. Let me see. Emmanuel Gacha. He is
He's able to unmute himself.
Yes, Emmanuel, can you unmute and say Wan Shang Hao?
Wan Shang Hao.
Oh. Ni hao.
Let's have Zawadi. I can see Zawadi now in the family of John and Trufena. Zawadi, please say hi to people.
Ni hao. Oh. This is beautiful. Wow, this is a challenge. It's a challenge. 7 years, 8 years. And I'm seeing also a young one, Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy's here. Jeremy, are you here? Oh, Jeremy, where are you?
Here.
Oh. Wow. Say something, Jeremy.
Ni hao.
Ni hao. Guys, we're gonna be overtaken. Karen, I'm sure your 4-month-old 10 years from now, they'll be saying a lot. We're gonna be overtaken, guys. So we better do good. We better do good so that by the time they catch up, we are somewhere. They're gonna come and take our careers.
and my 1-year-old is running. He's actually been caught, Hapa, trying to come. Here he is, say ni hao. Ni hao, ni hao. You hear? So he always repeats behind, like when we are in class, these online classes, you hear him repeating behind. Yeah, anyway.
That's good.
I think everyone now has their cup of tea.
Let me get mine.
Okay. Guys, remember, tea is cha. Everyone has, and we wamendo yo Kenyatta, Kenyan tea. And then to cheers is ganbei. So we can ganbei on the screen, in your screen, wherever ganbei. As Wanjiko comes, she's ran for her cup of tea.
Lausche.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Please make sure it's tea she has gone for.
What else would it be?
You tell us. Let's see what's in your cup.
What's in your cup?
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. And to us, to Chinese language. Yes, to us learning even more. Ganbei.
Ganbei.
Ganbei to a good.
Ganbei.
Ganbei to a good Sino-Africa relationship. That means China-Africa good relationship. Ganbei.
Ganbei.
Ganbei to the future of Chinese language in Kenya. Ganbei. And you can ganbei to every other thing in regards to Chinese. We ganbei to Karen's child, that he may grow to be strong and God-fearing. We also ganbei to the young learners here like Jeremy, Zawadi, Emmanuel, that you continue to learn Chinese language to fullest. Ganbei, guys. Zaijian, thank you so much. Zaijian. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Zaijian. One an.